Totally
I can
understand.
start, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
We are sorry for
Good
technical.
evening to all of you.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening to all of you. I welcome Sabina ma'am. Sabina Solanki ma'am is a founder and CEO of Bio Solanki, and is a privately limited company and working on a biotech research services and other related work regarding to the biotechnology field. And so today's very genuine topic is reality check. That is the introduction to biotechnology. As you know, we all the biologists are working in a different sector. It will be, the person for maybe zoology, botany, microbiology. So and there is a huge contribution of biotechnology right now in a different sector, like is agriculture, pharma sector, medical sector. So there is a very one. There are many questions in front of mind of students. So what is a career in a biotechnology, and how can we choose a correct career in biotechnology? How can we plan for it? Which pharma industry are available in India and abroad? Where the job opportunity for biotech students is available. And as guys in the Imam has got a international fellowship from South Dakota School of Mines, yeah, United States of America. Ma'am is a bachelor degree from JP University in JP Institute of Information Technology. Savina ma'am has uh, best research method. She has understood research methodology by Institute of London, and she's also working on a patents in biotechnology by the Institute of Copenhagen in the biostatics. And she's also have expert in public health biotechnology and public health microbiology. She's worked with also the Johns Hopkins Institute. So it's a good interaction with you, ma'am. Sabina ma'am, I again welcome you. And I request to kindly guide our students. Basically, our audience are the graduate student of biotechnology, microbiology, UG and PG level. So your session, I hope your session will be more beneficial for them. So over to Sabina ma'am, please.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Before starting, I know my audience very well. I want to know what is your perspective about career in biotechnology or scope of biotechnology. Like you can type in the chat box and let me know. If I know your point of views, then I can start better. You can type what you think about biotechnology in a word, or maybe what is your point of views. You can type and let me know. So nobody wants to type. So should I start with my pace? So
Yeah, audience participant, I request you, this is an interactive session. You have to please type whatever the ma'am is asked to you, and you have to ask to ma'am also.
if you will be interactive, that will be more beneficial to you, because I can tell you exactly, okay, preparation of vaccine and a single cell protein I'm getting innovative ideas in biology field. Yeah guys, you are on a right track. What does environment biotechnology consist of? I really tell you all those factors. Biotechnology means biology and technology. Guys, I'm totally, absolutely concur with you. The word biotechnology strike to most people as a, yeah, it's a sector which is booming nowadays. But sometimes people feels when they are in a graduate or in a postgraduate, it's a declining sector with zero career opportunities or very less career opportunities. But the truth is, they are not aware. They don't read and research on the latest happening and trends in the industries. That's why today we are here still cracking this belief there is opportunities in biotechnology and how to work on those. I'll explain each and every aspect of biotechnology to you guys. Uh, can you see my screen now? I want to know, can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So today I'll do the reality check for you guys. I'll start with the base and then I'll tell you I'll cover the whole Indian sector industries, what we are and what we were, how we are improving in this sector. I'll start with introduction to biotechnology. Then I'll cover Indian biotech industry with the root like I'll cover from root to up, and then I do the reality check. In the end, I will tell my students what is scope for you guys and what can you do in the biotechnology field. After that, we will do a question answer session. If you have any question, I'll be very happy to clear all the doubts. So, as you already told, biotechnology is bio plus technology. It's a living system and organisms we study using a technological application. It's something like we all know about the biological systems. Then we apply the technology in that. That becomes a biotechnology in a very simple words. The oldest form of biotechnology started with making breads or curds with the help of microbes. You understand that very well. I will cover that in a very format way. The evolution of biotechnology. The biotechnology started in 1991 when we get the term biotechnology. After that, we started with fermentation and wine making. Then Alexander Fleming discovered antibiotic named as penicillin. This started the new era of technology. After that, we get a recombinant technology that is known as a DNA is the carrier of genes in 1943. In 1953, we got a double helix model of DNA. This is a new opportunity segment started in the biotechnology sector. Then we have started with enzymes synthesis in vitro. It gives us an ample of opportunities in the industrial biotechnology by starting the enzyme. After that, in 1983, we got our first genetically modified transgenic plant. In 1997, we got first clone of a mammal. Then we draft human genome map with the 30,000 genes. Nowadays, it has amples of opportunities in this also by proteomics, transcriptomics, and metabolomics. All are originated after this 1998 Human Genome Project. Nowadays, we are so advanced, we are doing the next generation sequencing and another methods. In 2010, our first synthetic cell is circulated by the researcher J. Craigie. In 2013, we got first bionic eye. In 2020, we all know due to the biotechnology, we got our solution and new innovations for SARS-CoV-2 pandemics. So you can understand that the biotechnology is evolving day by day in a very fast pace. We are from making a curd to bread, we comes to the up to the vaccines or making the industries on a global level. I want to tell you all the branches of biotechnology. In starting, I'll start with the very base so that you can catch what we are doing. In my next slides, I will explain more about the industry. When we talk about the red biotechnology, that means the health, medical, and diagnostic in which we use the biotechnology. When we tell yellow biotechnology, that means the food biotechnology and the nutrition sciences. When we say blue and green, this is the revolutionary biotechnology also, because in blue we will take care of aquaculture, coastal and marine biotechnology. In green, we take care of agriculture with the environmental biotechnology. One of student wants to know about the environmental biotechnology also. That comes under a green biotechnology, in which we work on a bio industry as a biofuels. Using PHA or PLA, biofertilizers, bioremediation, or geomicrobiology. When you use the technology on basic life sciences, that become a biotechnology. After that, we have a brown biotechnology, in which we help or work on arid zone and desert biotechnology. When we talk about the dark biotechnology, it's come into the bioterrorism, biowarfare, biocrimes, or anti-crop warfare. When we talk about purple, the purple biotechnology is giving us innovations, patents, publications, or IPR, like intellectual property rights. This save our all the innovation or research we do in this field. The white biotechnology come into the gene-based bio-industries. Gold come into the bioinformatics and nanobiotechnology. The gold biotechnology comes under light after 2009, and the gray biotechnology is a subfield of microbiology in which we work for classical fermentation and bioprocess technology, altern the upstream processes and the downstream processes. I hope after this branches of biotechnology, you can correlate your subject with this biotechnology branches that can help you also. Like if you are a person from microbiology or you want to interested or work on this field, you can go to or work on those field also. When we talk about the Indian biotechnology industry, we divide into 5 segments. Whatever a person is from microbiology, life sciences, whatever field they are, usually when they comes to industry, they have to work on these 5 fields. First one is biopharma. In biopharma, we usually talk about the therapeutics or preventive medicines, which are derived from living organism using recombinant DNA technology. The recombinant DNA technology is the technology which help us to build the whole biotechnology. After that, we have another sector known as bioservices. In bioservices, we talk about clinical research or clinical research organization along with custom manufacturers. After that, we have a third segment or third pillar of Indian biotechnology industry, that is bioagriculture, in which we segmented into hybrid seeds or transgenic crops or biopesticides, or I can say biofertilizer. In bioindustry, it predominantly comprises enzyme manufacture or marketing companies with a hold of winemaking or any brewery industries. Then comes into the gold age, bioinformatics. It deals with extensive electronic database and various biological system industries. Guys, in this 5 field, we can summarize all the industry we have in India. When you don't understand those terms, you can divide like this also. Like in biopharma, we develop vaccine, diagnostics, or therapeutics. In bioservices, we work on contract research organization, custom manufacturing, or clinical trials. In bioagriculture industries, we work on hybrid seeds so that we can get a good production of crops, biofertilizer so that we can improve our soil health, biopesticides so we can have our organic foods. In bioindustries, we have industrial enzymes or industrial chemicals like ethanol, citric acid, and etc. In bioinformatics, we have a database services, integrated research app software, or biotech software services. In these, we can sum up the whole Indian biotechnology industries in a large parameter. Now I'll do the reality check for you guys. So I will tell you from base to till now where India stands, what India do in the biotechnology sector. It will like you open your eyes what our government or what our institutes do in a biotechnology center or in a biotechnology industry, and what the future holds. By 2025, what are the opportunities in the biotechnology sector? After this reality check, I will tell you about what should a student do and what they do nowadays. So we will do all the base proper propagations in this session. So I'll tell you from the base. The majority milestone Indian biotechnology industry covered from 1978 to 90. Now, in 1978, India's first biotech firm is set up, that is known as Biocon. In 1981, we have set up our first CCMB, Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology lab in Hyderabad, where we started working on biotechnology industry. After that, after 4 years, we our government start working on another setup known as IMC. It's known as Institute Microbial Technology, Chandigarh. After that, 2 years after the IMTC, DBT is formed. Then the Department of Biotechnology comes into the light into the India. In 1987, DBT formed the National Institute of Immunology because they think we have a new sector and we have to work on immunology sector to develop a vaccine or therapeutics. Then DBT decided to form NII in 1987. In 1988, we get a Bangalore GNI commissioned operations to formulate vaccines or to formulate new molecular synthesis. So you can see from 1978 to 19, we have some like a very small opportunities in India. We are just on a very first stage. From 19 to 2020, in last 20 years, in last 20 decades, we got ourselves in a top list ranking biotechnology sectors. Like in 1991, we have established the National Center for Biological Science with R&D and molecular biology. We said this is our first setup with the research and development sector. In 1994, we get our first contract research organization named as Syngene. In 1997, we have a Central for Biological Technology established for bioinformatics and genomics. That time also we have a human genome project going on in the world level. That time we started our CBT to get know more about bioinformatics. In 1998, we have started or get a permission for Monsanto Research established R&D Center for Plant Genomics. From 1998, we start working on a plant genomics and worked on plants to improve our crop fields or the sectors. How can we improve that? In 1998, DBT approved Monsanto Grow BT cotton. This is the first genetic plant we got. These old data I took from the Department of Biotechnology, Tech Science Research, R&D sectors. After 1999, the 2000 to 2010, we got another segments into our research. In 2017, we started National Biotechnology Development Strategy launched. I will explain that in future in another slide how this National Biotechnology Development Strategy is working. After that, with this, our government started to work on a state level also. The government of UP, Department of Biotechnology and Government of India established. They functionally start first biotechnology park set up in Lucknow. After that, biotechnology.
Hello.
After that, the biotechnology comes into the light. After this biotechnology park, from 2009, we have a National Biotechnology Regulatory Authority bill, which helps us to partnership with other industries. So you can understand, we started with a like base microbiology, and then we start developing in the microbiology to biotechnology fields, and now we are growing by 2010. Yani ki 2010 we started with Cadelia Healthcare or Serum Institute of India, and Bharat Biotech launched first H1N1 swine flu vaccine. It's a first vaccine given to the India by Bharat Biotech. So now you can understand our industrial structure, because every student has those doubts. I want to go and work with a DBT. I want to work with a Biocon. I want to work, but we don't know their origin. So today I want to discuss all the milestone Indian biotech industry started and come up with. Because when you finish your bachelor's, you have a doubt in your mind. I have finished my bachelor. What should I do for my master? But when you see your industry, then you can choose betterly. If you only choose on a basis of jobs, if you only choose on the basis of your okay, I want to do job, I want to go for higher studies, these are not the parameters to choose. You have to see the industrial growth, you have to see where your interest lies, then you have to choose. After that, I want to discuss in, like, now I'm discussing into the 10 years. Now I want to discuss in a very well structured manner. From 2010 to 15, we got in 2011 the government approval setting for biotechnology industries research assistant council, that is known as BIRAC, in 2012. Before that, we are on the origin, like on the developing phase. In 2012, we ranked 12th in the world in biotechnology and third largest in Asia Pacific. So are you getting the points? Ki we are becoming a new era of biotechnology for the world. In 2013, we started the biggest producer of hepatitis B vaccine recombinated in India. In 2015, DBT allocate almost USD dollar 0.735 million to the agriculture sciences, which support the multi-institution projects. The maximum institutes are working on these funds. Then in 2015, in further future, the national biotechnology development strategies come into the picture. From 2000 to 220 program, India turns into the biotechnology hub. But our students don't know about these policies, what is India is going on the biotechnology. So I get to hear every time I meet to the college students, they tell ki I did my bachelor's in biotechnology, but I feel if I didn't do PhD, I don't see the scope of biotechnology, I don't see the scope of life sciences. You have to understand there are milestone our country, our biotechnology industry is gaining. You have a scope, but you have to work on the base and know the exact industry potential before judging or before saying. So now today, by in this reality check, after post 2015, in 2016 we get to know more about the biotechnology industrial research councils. We got a proposal for the innovation and ideas under biotechnology ignition grant scheme, in which any person can start their bio-entrepreneur ideas and they can start their own biotech industries. In 2016, regional center of biotechnology bill was passed by Lok Sabha to impart training or education under guidance of UNESCO. After that, we are come to the hands-on practices of biotechnology in India. In 2016, we also make a policy for intellectual property rights, in which we get patents. After 2016, India is booming in the patents also. Maximum industries or the best colleges are getting the students to know more about the intellectual property rights or research ethics. How can they improve our research origin in the colleges or in the industries or the research labs? In 2017, Ministry of Health Malaysia awarded Biocon a contract of 86.43 million to supply recombinant human insulin formulation for duration of 3 years. Now you can understand we are going on to the other overseas to tell our products or to give our products to other countries. In 2017, Syngene make a contract research arm of Biocon and decided to invest 200 million. Here you can understand which amount of money we are spending on biotechnology industry, and there are ample of scope or opportunities in biotechnology industry in future also. You can check all this data in Ministry of External Affairs or TechSci Research. These all our data are taken from the government initiative external affairs milestone industries data. You can cross check any data. Research milestone achieved in India in last 4 years. In 2017, we become a capital international group. Biotech companies start coming into the equity funds like Intas Pharmaceutical Limited from Chris Capital, considered from 107 million. You can understand now we are making a good major effect on GDP or into the share market also. Then in 2018, we have a two major things we did. That is Siemens Healthineers, which provide medical solution and operate a subsidiary of German-based Siemens, opened a new diagnostic manufacture facility in Vadodara in 3,150 square feet with benchmarked manufacturing equipment, process and systems, manufacturing urine strips or autopack kits. Here we started the new era of medical devices or working on medical devices. In November 2018, German-based pharmaceutical group Merck KGaA signed a memorandum for understanding with Indian-based CSIR IMT Highly Skilled Development Center in Chandigarh. Here we have a acceleratory program for health research or usually they train local student or researchers regarding latest life sciences technology. In September 2019, this German chemical and pharma major Bayer AG completed the integration of Monsanto India business for Bayer Corporation Limited with a 63 billion mega deal. So you can understand when those deals come to India, these give us the opportunities to create new jobs, to create new platform for life science fields. Why I'm discussing these details? When a person says there is no a remote industry for biotechnology, there is no platform where we can work. So I want to tell there is platform. You have to find, you have to skill yourself to come into those sectors. In 2019, Bharat Biotech planned to produce 10 types of vaccine, include malaria and COVID-19, with a total investment of 300 crore. When I'm saying a 300 crore investment, you can understand how many opportunity that will give to the new students or a new researchers to work on, because it's a very huge project. You can't say India is getting a huge project or we are not improving our skill sets or we are not getting opportunities, because we have. In January 2021, Biocon Biologics started a new arm, biosimilar arm of Biocon, which invested 555 crore from Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund. It's a huge investment getting India for biosimilars. All these data is taken from investindia.government.in statics. So all the data are well proved or checked by thrice or four times before putting this PPT. So I can give you the exact data which how India is improving in biotechnology sector. I want to tell you in a very layman language, I can say that the pharmaceutical market is growing with a like 10 or 20%. Here our government is also working on all the. We are focusing on 2025. If I talk about 2025, we have opportunities which will be in a 10 times or 20 times we can see now. I want to tell you the advantage of India. You are an Indian, and what is the main advantage of having a biotechnology industry in India? We have a skilled human capital with a population of 1.3 billion, 50% being under the age of 25. India has a large skilled human or manpower. in which we can establish our infrastructure work. And our government has come up with an industrial academic collaboration with the World Bank to accelerate discoveries and research for early development of biopharmaceuticals. You can understand if India become a hub of biopharmaceuticals, so we can get a very minimum rates medicines or a health checkup in India. When we talk about infrastructure facilities, our central or state government is working on startup with the new incubators and sciences cluster across India. Now we have a 9 DBT supported biotech parks or 50 BIREC supported bio incubators. If you have any idea, you have to just approach those bio incubators. They will help you to start your startups. They will like you have to become an active thinker. We need active thinkers so that we can start on research, we can start on innovations. Don't think you have to follow a path which is already driven for you. You have to think out of the box, then you can do anything in this field. When we talk about the policy support, we have 100% under automatic route for greenfield project for pharmaceutical or 74% permitted under automatic route for brownfield project under government route. We can say this is are the four medical devices. We have a policies which help us to get more advancement in the pharmaceutical industries. When I talk about epidemiological factors, I want to give a light on a patient pool. Patient pool expected to increase over 20% in the next 10 years, mainly due to rise in population. If our population is increasing, diseases are increasing, then you can think about our lifestyle changes and demands of drug and devices in the India. If we need the huge amount of drugs and huge amount of devices, then we have an ample of opportunity to work and get those in affordable prices. This started a new origin or new sector for our future. I want to tell, I already discussed these things, but I want to tell the notable trends in the Indian biotechnology sectors. We are on a remarkable global position. India is among top 12 biotech destination in the world. I want to tell you, I have worked into the USA. I have worked into the UK. When we talk about the biotechnology, their labs is, I can say, 2 times or 3 times maybe working, but their students are working as an active thinker. They don't have to tell ki you do this step, this step, this step. That's why they are better or maybe working better than us. If Indians become the active thinker, we can beat anyone in this world. India ranks second in Asia after China in biotech sector. India is the world's largest producer for recombinant hepatitis B vaccine. I already told you this. Pharma companies focusing on biotechs like Ranbaxy, Cadia Healthcare, Lupin, you can get a good jobs in these sectors also. Dr. Reddy's in the major Indian pharmaceutical companies operating in the biopharma segment. Global companies are setting up their base in India, like Diabetoomics, making medical diagnostic companies, which is raised 4 million from Venturus and USD 1 million. From KI Veraprasad Reddy for driving manufacturing and commercializing activities in India. Now, I already told in January 2021, we are now working on biosimilars or molecular diagnostic. This become our more strongholds. Now we can work on biosimilar like speeding up by glycolysin control technology. I want to say one thing. If you get a hold on your basics, when you are in your undergraduate or postgraduate, just work on your basics. When you know the origin of those subjects, when you get that attachment with those subjects, you can create a research and you can be an inventor. Growth in genetically modified crops. We are now coming into the fourth largest area covered under genetically modified crops. We grow 11.57 million hectares genetically modified crop, majorly BT cotton or BT brinjal. So you can understand कि in agriculture sector also biotechnology sector is booming. I want to tell what are the benefits from this. We can have a rising income and population. Our growth demands, like India's largest population, gives us a huge market of biotech products and services. We can have higher healthcare expenditure and increasing in bio agriculture product. Strong growth is in export demand and rise in medical tourism. Like we created, I want to quote, we created a vaccine. Bharat Biotech created a vaccine named as Cova vaccine. Now we are exporting this vaccine in 10 countries. So you can understand how much growth and demand of this sector is. The demand or growth is that high कि we are inviting open access policies. We are starting our own R&D sectors, and government is helping us to start new feature by funding biotech research. We are having a more budgetary allocation to the biotech and healthcare sector in our next 5-year plan. Our economic times also quote that we have to spend more money in biotech or healthcare sector to improve ourselves, resulting we are getting increasing investment, which is making us our domestic or foreign players in rising investment. 100% FDI permitted through automatic routes manufacturing drug and pharmaceuticals. A microbiologist also can work in manufacturing. A biochemist also work on those sectors. A B farmer, M farmer student also work. So you don't have to segregate those sectors. I'm just talking about the biotechnology. I want to tell you, if you are a student of microbiology, you can also work in a biotechnology or healthcare sector. You have to understand or make that mindset. All the plan is nowadays working on low cost or skilled labor force, which is outsourced research activities. Usually, India is now doing the outsourced research activities for major research labs outside India. All these sources are taken from Make in India or TechSci research. I want to tell you what is the need for biotechnology. Owing to the increasing population, we need food. We need agriculture products like rice, sugarcane, wheat, beans. This is expected to elevate the significance of these products by using how can we grow the low yield crops, limited availability of agriculture land, shortage of water, pest attacks. How can we we decrement those issues? So we need to participate as encouraging ourselves as a researcher or participate in a massive R&D sectors. If we didn't work on this sector, we don't have that much of food we can give to our population. We can have in future malnutrition and other diseases that comes to picture in demand of therapeutics. In therapeutics also we can provide diagnostic solution, principle of DNA sequencing or recombinant technology. Here comes into the picture red biotechnology. I already told about the medical biotechnology come into the picture nowadays. We can get a solution for cancer or hepatitis B from these. So you can understand, as we are growing as a population, we are having a massive opportunities to work. Just we have to think where we can work, and you have to be a very active thinker for that. Now I will focus on opportunities in bioservices, bioindustries, biopharma or bioagriculture, as well as bio-IT. When I see in this slide, you can sum up the whole Indian industry in these 5 sectors. Don't divide sectors on a basis of subject, because these are the amalgamation of a subject. These are the sectors which comes from the life science industries. You can't divide those on the basis of your base or basic subjects. Microbiology, genetic engineering, molecular evolutions, they help us to build those industries. So when we talk about bioservices, we talk about potential clinical trials due to large and low cost market. Clinical trials in India are regulated by the CCD, the Central Drugs and Standard Control Organization, which reduce approval time up to the 30 to 60 days, which giving us some opportunity to market growth. Country has also advantage because all of the speakers do the English speaking research and required medical infrastructure to conduct medical research. This is the advantage as a bioservices. When we talk about the bio industry, we work on biofuels, bioenergy. These considers as the alternative resource and gaining popularity in India. These are, we have to work in those because now we are rising in the energy demand is leading to increased dependence on fossil fuel imports. As a resultant, companies are developing a strategies to reduce import dependency through biofuels and bioenergy. So you can see the opportunity in bio industry also. When I talk about biopharma, I talk about all the basic in my previous slide also. Here I want to conclude. In Indian biological market expected to register 10% reach by 2025. Growth of biological provides opportunity for biosimilars in the market. 12 patented biological product expected to expire in USA by 2020. There an opportunity for for India biopharmaceutical Indian firms, and increased competition is likely for biopharma. You can understand those basics and then you can know more opportunities. When I talk about bioagriculture, I want to give a light on the Indian Union budget, which states the government plan to enhance the farm productivity and focus on food security. This will likely increase the importance of bioagriculture, which will enhance efficient food production. Same way, when I talk about bio IT, here is the potential segment for technology to transfer data generated by R&D institute, clinicals or hospital. Usually we have a huge data, like we have a huge population and huge amount of data. So there comes to the picture bio IT or bioinformatics, which can substantially analyze those data and give us the global trends of new opportunities. Here I'll sum up in a very quick manner. By according to Global Market Insight, by 2025, our growth will be 330.3 billion dollars in 2015. But when we talk about 2024, its growth rate is 9.9%, which is compounding every year. Here I have sum up all the industry: biopharma, bioservice, bioagriculture or bioindustry. These are the sub part of biotechnology. I already discussed about the statistics of India as a geographical level. Or Indian biotechnology revenue comes around 2,960 crore per year. You can understand the dynamics of biotech industry or the growing rate. Our government also working on different research funding agencies, joint venture fund, infrastructure development, international collaborations, or clinical establishment funds, which is giving us ample of opportunities. Like when I talk about international collaboration, in 2016 we do the collaboration with EMBO. This is the agreement we did, and it started a research collaboration in India. Infrastructure development, I can say we have a 3 major biological cluster in Mohali, Punjab, Faridabad, and Bangalore. These are agri-biotech cluster in Pune, Maharashtra, and Kolkata. So you can understand, when we are talking about these huge collaborations, so we have how much opportunities we are getting. When I talk about joint venture, I want to give a light on Arbindo Pharma announced a joint venture with Teragen Biotech Company. They are developing a cost-effective pneumonia vaccine. We have if I go in details, it will take me 4 to 5 hours to tell you all the opportunities and what all the government is doing. I'm trying to sum up in a very well structured manner so that you can get the gist of all the biotech industry, so that you can get to know what you have to choose and how can you work in this industry. When I'm talking about the department concerning biotech approvals, there comes a four Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. In Ministry of Science and Technology, we have a Department of Biotechnology, which reviews Committee on Genetic Manipulation, Recombinant DNA Advisory Committee, Institute Biosafety Committee. Are you getting my point? Ki in this industries or in this ministry also, you can work as a review committee members. Also, you can work. These are the firms which are regulating the biotechnology industries. These are regulating our whole industry or biotech sectors. When I talk about the Ministry of Environment and Forest, here we have to take care of Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. When you want to work on a mouse or any animal, you have to see those approvals. Then there comes some Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, which has their Department of Pharmaceutical. Same way in a health and family welfare, we have a central drug central control, which helps us or monitor the clinical trials. I already discussed about this field, but here I have put the regulatory framework of Indian biotechnology sector. The Recombinant DNA Advisory Committee or the Genetical Manipulation Regulatory Committee or Biosafety Committee, they will help us to maintain the key in which field or how much we can manipulate our natural products. Now I want to quickly sum up those government initiatives. The government is taking several initiatives to make biotechnology field on the world level, like from Biotechnology Industrial Research Assistant Council. We are working on strengthening or empowering emerging biotechnology enterprise by doing strategic research or innovation. In clinical trials, we are approving new drugs. In National Biopharma Vision, we are working on Innovative India. By this, we are getting 250 million funds. This is to aim to bring together industry and academia in order to promote entrepreneurship and indigenous manufacture in biopharma. Like we got a COVA vaccine, that is also an indigenous manufacture vaccine. Here I want to conclude the National Biopharma Mission, in which we are working on three sectors: vaccine, biosimilars, or medical devices, by strengthening our ecosystem. You can say everybody know about the journal lab practices or how to work on these. These establishing work help us to strengthening our ecosystem by getting affordable products. Think about this, if we have to import a vaccine or biosimilar or medical devices from other country, that way our GDP is decrementing. We have to think as an active person and understand those missions, ki how these are supporting our subjects or how these are creating the ample opportunities for us. These are the some sectors I already discussed. Ki we have these sectors in India where we have a association of BioLead enterprise named as ABLE. We have an infrastructure or a biotech science park in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. These are a world-class biotech park or cluster. So we can work on those also. In South India, we have a four state which in which we have a biotech parks. Like in Tamil Nadu, these are in under process. They will be finished by 2025. So you can understand the opportunity which comes into the 2025. In Tamil Nadu, we have a Golden Jubilee Biotech Park for Women. Is the and another one is Taigo Center for Life Sciences Biotech Park. It's in the south suburban Chennai. In Telangana, we have a biotech incubation center. These are under process or some are already established. Biotech incubation center in Kerala, biotechnology park in the Karnataka, and in North India we have a biotech park in Lucknow, in a industrial biotechnology park in Kathawa district, Jammu and Kashmir. When I talk about Chhattisgarh Biotech Park, they have a India in Indira Gandhi Agriculture University in which they have a biotech park. They work on a agriculture sector. Same way in Assam, we have a biotech park technology incubation center in Guwahati. These parks are successfully accelerating the commercialization of new technology or nurturing or maintaining emerging venture by enterprising their linkage with a stakeholder. So this gives us the opportunity of academia and the industry. Now I want to sum up the industry and come into the what what is there for you as a student. As a education, you can do your bachelor's, maybe BSc or BTech. After that, you can go for MSc or MS. Then you can go for doctors, medical or PhD. The scope of these lies in you. What you want to be become. You want to be become a biotechnologist. You want to be become a biology quality or assurance manager or a aquatic ecologist. You have to finalize that. Maybe a teacher, maybe a representative, maybe because we have a ample of opportunities. I already told you, I already explained the whole industry to you. So if our industry is grooming, if our industry is grooming or getting this much of fund, so you can understand how much there is options for you. You can become a biological illustration, you can be a biologist, you can be a microbiologist, but you have to be focused on, you have to be very focused on what you want, what is your interest. When you go on your interest and work with your brain, then you have create things. See, there comes a four major pillar. First is awareness, we are awareing you. Second is education, by education you can make your foundation strong. Then comes the third sector, which is research. In research, when you do the research, you can get a patent, you can get a medical device, you can get a system. By those you can commercialize those and can get opportunity and start giving opportunity to others. So the whole thing start with your mindset. If you think about ki after biotech, which job I can do, this is not the way to find the opportunities. This is not the way to work in this industry. You have to think for a long term, then you can work. I want to quote a story here. A very well-known researcher, he started working, doing his bachelor's in bioinformatics in 2017. Then he went to the Germany for a year. Then he came back and started working. That time his earning is very less. In starting, everybody's earning is very less. Usually you get a 2.3 or a 4 or a 5 lakh per annum package. But that time you start to switch from biotechnology to the other fields. But if you work that time in that field and get expertise or specialization within a 5 years, within a 3 years, you'll get a package of 30 or 50 lakh. The person I'm quoting, he got a package in a serum biotechnology with a 1 crore. His first, within a 4 year, like his first package was 2.5 lakh per annum, but he worked in this field for a 3.5 year. He got a specialization. After that, he got a package of 1 crore. So you have to understand, instead of switching your industry, you have to get a hands-on, or you have to be an expert in your field. Then you get opportunities, and then you get to start good amount of help in this industry. Another thing I want to quote in the scope terms, you can work on services, you can work on research and development, you can work on an operational sector or in a commercialization. These will help you. In services, I already discussed all the clinical development. You can work on project management. You can work on a preclinical research or entrepreneurship. There are like, you have to just think, then you can work on. See, if you are a biotechnology person, you understand better biotechnology, but you want to do journaling also, so you can do the biojournaling. If you have an interest in the photography, but your sector is biology, then you do the biology photography. Because when you capture the small living beings, that can become an opportunity. So you have to mix match your passion with your knowledge. Then you can create new fields and the new opportunities. Try to be think out of the box. You are in a 21st century. You don't have to follow the paths which already in there. You can become a science communicator. You can tell others, you can aware others. There are lots of opportunities, but you have to think in that way. Here I want to tell you this toolkit to success. Firstly, you have to find your inclination and interest. Before planning your future, do this. When you find you have an interest in microbiology, you have an interest in biochemistry, then plan ki what education you need. Maybe bachelor's, maybe master's. Then you plan for your scholarship. That way you can work, because in India and outside India also we have a number of scholarship. Then when you start growing yourself, you start building your soft skills, hard skills. That way you give the addition of value to other industry or other lab or R&D sector. See, when you have that skills now, then you go for any research lab. They will hire you. Everyone wants a person who will hard work. Everyone wants a person who can execute or plan. So for that, you have to talk to the people. You have to understand the industry. That way, if you don't want to work that much, find a mentor who can understand your skills, who can regularly assist you. That way, you can successfully plan or start your career ladder. But you have to understand, when you think about ki a person is getting this much of amount, you don't have to compare yourself to that person, because that person also has one day in a stage one. Don't compare your stage one to someone else stage 10 or 11. When you want to go up to the Eiffel Tower, there is a ladder, there is a lift. You have to take those ladder or lift to reach that height. Same way in your career, if you want to reach height, you have to work on find your stairs, you have to find on your lift, then work on that and make your strong foundations. When you start working on those foundation, when you make your career goals. When I ask the master students, what is your career goal, they can't tell me what their career goals. In the end of those discussion, they usually told me they want a job. They want earning. This is not a way to define your career goals. This is not a way to define your vision. You have to decide your vision, you have to decide your career goals. Then you see कि there is a market demand and where you can go and work. See, there are some academic freeway exits. After bachelor degree, you do some vocational courses or diploma, which will give you some specialization. On those specialization basis, you can join some industries in which I know you can get a low pay, but yeah, this can be your first exit, your dream job, and then you can get your next exit by masters, maybe teaching, technical, or corporate sector. But if you want a specialized job or senior job, you have to do the doctors and then take your exit. After that, if you want to go on a research or want to be a very specialized, do the postdoc and do a very specialized section, then do take your exit. There are opportunities, but you have to decide. Choose wisely. I already told you the scope of future lies in you. Scope of future lies in your mindset, your thinking. The road ahead, I want to tell, in Indian biotechnology is built on a entrepreneurship, innovation, developing domestic talent, and demonstrating value-based care. Given the long history of disease in India, country has accumulating years of experience and scientific knowledge to prevent and treat them. India is working to boost the biotechnology sector under the flagship programs like Make in India or Startup India. Increase in the number of biotech incubator will boost research and promote growth of startups. This is a critical for the success of the Indian biotech industry. Because if we didn't improve or get more industries, so we can't reach to the heights. After this, I want to quote the best 8 biotech startups working in 2020. The biosensors, these are the using biological component as sensor, measuring analytic such as organic compound bacteria with great precision. This is the future of biotechnology. Another is mixed reality. These are usually based on an interactive 3D imaginary model or a virtual environment in the real world. It stimulates not only interactive holograms of human body and organs, but also their reaction to the treatment in real time. Same with tissue engineering. It's come to the biochemical methods to improve and replace biological tissues, big data, 3D bioprinting, gene editing, nanomedicine, synthetic biology, and metabolic engineering, artificial intelligence. This is the future of biology. This is the future of biotechnology industry. So now you can understand. Now I have covered all the basic things.
Very nice, ma'am. Very excellent presentation and very informative session, ma'am. Really, thank you. Now the session is open for Now the session is open for question and answer. Ma'am, you have given a very good information about whatever the biotech farms, biotech parks in India, because very few people know about it. And you have given away information about the biotech park, especially for women, which is in Chennai. So girls, students or from biotech background, they can take a benefit of that biotech park. They can make career in that park also. And Dr. Nilima Pendarkar madam is with us. Nilima ma'am, any comments on this session? He's a ma'am is head of Department of Microbiology from Baramati College. Deshmukh sir is also online right now.
Yes, it tempted me to talk something. The reason is that whenever I am talking hidden brain of India,
I want to tell that Savina Solanki is a hidden brain of India.
Yes, sir. Correct, correct.
Really, your presentation was so excellent. Again,
Oh,
I assure you, Solanki ma'am, this is the first lecture. We'll go to the maximum people in the future. And I want to ignite the minds of young generation, and for which your lecture will be very useful to me. So, again, thank you very much. And thank you, Dahikar sir, although I was busy in some other program. Side by side, I was attending it because in that program also I was a listener. For 5 minutes, I was a speaker only.
yes, sir.
So, I'm very happy today. And Nilima ma'am is there. She can share. Some students also have written comments in the chat box. I'm very happy to know.
Yes, sir, ma'am. It was really very informed and well prepared lecture. And yes, ma'am, we are really very happy to listen from you all. And next time, again, we'll try for a huge platform also. So this time, I think we're lagging for more publicizing this particular event. But we'll take care that it will reach to each and every student from our college. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Solanki ma'am, your audio is off. Your audio is off. Solanki
Savina
ma'am.
ma'am, you are not audible.
Yeah, not audible.
Savina ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So
Now,
sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was on a mute. I'm saying thank you so much. I want to quote कि if my audience is a single person or 100%, it doesn't matter, because the matter is कि by my speech or by my experience, if a one person can change, that can change a 10 more person. Now we have a 34%. If they start to change one person, we can change the half of our colleges. So it doesn't matter my target audience is sometime 10 or 11, or sometime it's maybe like my last lecture I have a 1,000 student in that lecture. That's why it doesn't come my enthusiasm, because it's adding, at least these 34 students are getting something from me. Thank you so much for
Great,
your
ma'am.
valuable
Real nice.
time.
Yes, madam. It
Yeah.
matters.
Savina ma'am.
It matters for us. The reason is that we are having a very huge number of students. They are closely in contact with us. So definitely, as Nilima ma'am has told, next time we'll try to reach to maximum students.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir, sure.
Yeah. And in
Savina ma'am.
Savina ma'am, we do find India's leading entrepreneur. Yeah.
Sure, I do that. Like I have my own organization named as BioSolanki. It is in an incubation sector. We are working on 4 pillars. First is I already discussed that, but I want to give a light if it can help anybody. We are working on 4 pillar. First is awareness. We are awareing our schools. Like I'm approaching schools. I went to the schools and tell students what is the future of biotechnology. After that, we approach colleges in a bachelor's or in a master's. That is our in a awareness pillar, in which we podcast, we give newsletters to the students to tell what is the biotechnology industry doing and what is the future of this. In another sector, we have education. This is in the incubation. We are planning to start a edtech company, so that we can tell students you should do these kind of educational segments. After that, we establish our research and innovation sector, so that students know about the intellectual property rights. They can get a patent or they can start innovation. We need active thinkers for academic or industrial collaborations. That way, India can reach to the heights. If anyone have any question,
yes.
I'm very happy to answer your question. You can write down in chat box or ask.
You give your email ID in the chat box.
Yeah,
So any student, if interested in the tomorrow or day after tomorrow, he will contact you.
sure. I have sent my both the email IDs. If anyone have any doubt, like if we also do the personalized counseling. If a person has any doubt regarding to their, like I have finished my bachelor's with this percentage and my interest in this field, what should I do? So we have a E3 model. We engage with that student. We spend some time and do their strength test. It's a free of cost. Then we ask that student what should they do in their future. So if you want to, okay, please suggest some way how can I manage my financial status with MSc. I want to tell you there are a option known as a freelance or a solopreneur. You can start helping by making a freelance illustrations, maybe helping in writing research or maybe reviewing a research for a person. That way you can do this and it will help you in future also. Nisha, I'm answering to the Nisha question. She writes